I would tell you that this 103rd Psalm is an absolute Hebrew masterpiece. You want some homework? Read the entire Psalm. I'm not going to do that today because it'll take me, we'd have to do a whole series on the 103rd Psalm. I'm going to try to limit myself to 5 verses. But if you want to see writing at its finest, and one of the greatest Hebrew writers was David. This is written late in his life after a lot of the stuff that we identify David with, whether it's the peaks like Goliath and taking the throne, or the valleys like Bathsheba and Uriah and numbering the people. He was a roller coaster as far as peaks and valleys. Quite a story. Kind of reminds us of ourselves when we have a few good days and a few bad months. That was David. You caught that, right? That was David. But in his elder years, when the hairs have turned gray, David sets to write more of some of these other Psalms. And 103 is a masterpiece because he recognizes the goodness of his Father, the goodness of God in a way that he never could have as a shepherd boy sitting on the hillside, because it was all pie in the sky and dreaming. But now he can look back and recognize a God. He's about to say some things to you in this 100. I hope you're not cheating and reading ahead. But he's about to say some things to you in this 103rd Psalm. I saw some eyes drifting to the pages while I did that. He is about to say some things to you in this 103rd Psalm that is absolutely out of his covenant. He is about to give you new covenant stuff. And it's incredible what he's about to do prophetically. Things are going to fall out of his mouth that really don't fit until after the cross. And it is a beautiful, beautiful thing. Psalm 103:1. Bless the Lord, O my soul, all that is within me. Bless his holy name. You could never write better than Psalms 103:1. And the English language is at its peak whenever you see the verses like this. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name. There is no words that I can add. So I say to you, just look at the screen. Soak in the great songwriter of Israel telling you how the believer feels. That every fiber of our body finds reason to give God glory. And it's for some reason, it's on days like today when it is so beautiful. And it's right on that edge of spring. And there's such future and such possibilities. And Mother's Day falls at such an amazing time of year that verses like this seem to pop even louder in our hearts to say how good God is and to bless the Lord, my soul. Verse 2. Bless the Lord, O my soul. It looks like a repeat, but the psalmist changes the second line. By the way, before I read that rest of the second line, I'm struck by people. Well, I don't hear this argument from this house, but I do every now and then hear some disgruntled soul from somewhere else that's mad about the direction their church is going, and they're angry about their music. And I heard someone going off the other day how mad they were that they were singing courses in their church that said the same thing 8 times in a row. And I thought, man, you need to read the book of Psalms. Because sometimes David will wear you out. He's got certain chapters where he says the same thing literally every single verse. And I think, man, we think we've come up with something new and we're really just recycling a heart of praise. When you have a heart of praise, who cares if you say it 30 times in a row? I mean, if you're getting so hung up on needing to change the word every other chapter, you might want to get out of the book of Psalms. Notice that he opens this verse the exact same way, and these were being sung by choirs, and so it probably would have sounded the exact same way as if they were going into it 2 times. Sort of like a chorus line that has an A-B rhythmic pattern. One word rhymes, and then a word, and then the third line rhymes with the first line, and the fourth line rhymes with the second line. We've heard songs like that our whole lives, and we didn't invent it. It's not an American invention, but you can see it as you read in the Hebrew. So he changes it after the first line. Bless the Lord, O my soul. Forget not, and here's our title, all his benefits. And when I saw that this week, and this is the scriptures we've been over in our own lives many, many times, but there's something about that word all that just popped and said, the psalmist wanted you to not think just about a couple of good things. We have that habit, I do, of thinking, boy, this happened to me this week, and that was so cool. That was such a grace moment. And I'll dwell on that for a week, and that's fun. That's great. That's awesome. But sometimes it'll take months before I dwell on some of those other little things that God's doing, and I'll go, oh man, I haven't even really thought about how good. Every now and then it's good to just set us up a list and go, I just want to thank the Lord for all. Now, all is exhaustive. There's no way we really could ever fill an all. So David doesn't try. He just gives you a few. And it's so ready-made that it's just easy fun preaching and it's easy fun listening. And I thought for a Mother's Day, easy fun sounded good. And so when you listen to the text, you just let them roll out. Watch all his benefits. See the colon at the end of the verse? It lets you know, the translator does a wonderful job of letting you know everything that's about to come after until the next period, until we stop talking, is part and parcel of the benefits of our God. And so though it's not really exhaustive, because sometimes when the Word of God uses all, it's not really going to try to tell you all of them. It's trying to tell you that there's a whole bunch. And so he says all his benefits and then lists 6. Verse 3, who forgives all our iniquities. I'm just going to read them all straight through first, okay? And then we'll go back. He forgives all our iniquities. He heals all of our diseases. Who redeems your life from destruction. Who crowns you with loving kindness and tender mercies. Who satisfies your mouth with good things, so that your youth is renewed like the eagles. We could say there's 6. There's probably really 5 if you don't break the 5th one down into 2. We will, for purposes of today. 5 would be a good grace number, and that'd make a lot of people happy that there were only 5, when in reality there's an inexhaustible list of good benefits from God. But notice a list, and some of them probably jumped out even more than others.